use. Provisions of U.S. Copyright Law, Title 17 U.S. Code Section 107. It is intended for educational, commentary, and research purposes. All rights belong to their respective owners. No copyright infringement is intended.
Hello, friends. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, welcome. Hi, everybody. Benny and Marley, how are you guys doing on this lovely Sunday?
Good. It's sunny. At least the sun is shining, so that's a good thing. It's cold, but it's sunny. We need the
I
sun.
know.
It's snowing here.
Is it?
We've got
Is
snow.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, here it's really nice today. Really nice. It's like very sunny, very perky. The animals are happy. So it's just a beautiful day. So it's been a really nice weekend. And I'm gonna say hello to Doris here. Dorothy.
Hello,
And let's do
Dorothy.
some healing vibes to Dorothy because she was in the hospital. She's been sickies. So we need to send her some positive vibes and many, many hugs. Here she is. Hi there. So good to see you. And Richard is here. And I know it's a Sunday, and you guys share the show if you don't mind, and because we want some people here. But either way, this is going to be a great session. So, how are you guys doing today, Marley? You doing good overall?
I'm doing good. I am excited about the show and what we're going to be talking about today. I think we are really in it. So this is the time for this type of show. I'm so sorry, Dorothy, that you've been so sick. We love you. And we're
We love
sending
you, Dot.
lots of healing vibes.
Nothing but healing vibes. So, okay. So, should we kind of get started, kind of start laying the groundwork for how we got here? So, I don't know about you guys, but one of the things that keeps repeating in my life is people coming up and saying, and I mean, me myself noticing that on a daily basis, people are getting angrier and angrier. And it's people that are normally like very, very, soft spoken or very patient. They're losing that patience. And a lot of it, for me, is like you can start a day with meditation, and after 15 minutes of social media or scanning your YouTube or your news or whatever it is, it seems like it all goes downhill quick. And I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I just talked to a friend of mine the other day that was going through this. So
I've noticed that around here for a couple of years. Because in Yorkshire, you could walk by, say hello to people all the time, and they'd say hello back. Now they just don't look at you. Look like you've got the plague, basically, and they keep walking.
yeah, it's like bleeding into our 3D life because I'm one of the things I was looking up is like, what's the source of this? Marley, I mean, you definitely have some very strong feelings about this.
I have some extremely strong feelings about this, and I've been trying for a number of years now to get people to pay attention to what social media or mainstream media does to their energy, vibration, and frequency. Hello, Lulu Bell. So this is really, really important. As many people know, I have been taking a well-needed break while I'm healing because I just can't deal with the chaos on social media. And hello, Lulu Bell. So it's tough, but we can get through it. And, we're going to talk about a lot of that today. But, guys, it's so important to pay attention to what your energy is showing you. And if you are getting upset, anxiety, anger, any of these negative fear, any of these negative emotions, please step away from the platforms, step away from your social media, step away from people who might be chaotic or toxic. Now is the time. We need to be inward We need to clear the energies, and we need to say no to the programming, the manipulation, and the fear mongering. We've got to say no to it. We are in a very weird place right now. Many people are feeling it. And this is why we're doing this show today, is because so many people are in this weird place.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not just like you consciously saying no to something. And this is where this is going to get really interesting. I've been doing a lot of research on the subconscious impact of types of social media, the types of announcements, the wording that is used, the font, the size, the colors. So that's something that we're going to go through today, because it has sent me. I started with like a little presentation. I'll warn you, Ben, this has turned into a big rabbit hole for me. It got away.
There is something like that, because colors, fonts, shapes, and sizes can affect your mood. For example,
Exactly.
in aviation industry, most airlines' interiors are blue to keep you calm. Most airlines,
Nice. You see?
that's the reason why. Yeah, they tried it once with red and it didn't go very well.
Isn't that crazy? It's like there's so many
Well,
little details that surround us.
Yes.
And I have a clip, but one of the reasons I didn't want to play this clip before we started our deck was because of the copyrights. But we were looking at that old movie, They Live, right? They Live was a crazy movie. That is like the guy has these sunglasses, and he's like, he takes off his sunglasses and he sees the world as he usually sees it. He puts on the sunglasses and everything takes a totally new meaning. All the advertising really means something different than when the signs say. So this is kind of the rabbit hole that we're going to go down today in looking at subliminal, exactly. And we're going to cover that, some of the history. I know my light keeps going off. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. And you guys, as we go through on the chat, if you have any questions, we're just going to, I actually have a deck that I'm going to go through, and we're going to be stopping and talking about this, because this is really important that we share. Because the theme of this is flipping the narrative, right? Taking your consciousness back, taking ownership. You know, you need to start driving the wheel, you know, taking the wheel of that bus and not letting AI or whatever algorithms take over your narrative. So I'm going to go ahead and share some stuff. Let's go ahead and share. So this is very coordinated. There's a whole deck, you guys. Just be ready. Poor Dot's like, oh, Lord of mercy. I was already tired. So what are we going to cover today? So doom scrolling, you know, why does it feel compulsive? Oh my God, yeah. Nostalgia works for me. We're going to talk about nostalgia because there's all kinds of drivers in this. So what will the session cover? Doom scrolling. Why does it feel compulsive and draining? It's like, why can something feel compulsive yet drain you at the same time, but you keep coming back for it? You can't help yourself. We're going to talk about that. How the algo reads your behavior and strives to predict your next move. All of this is about prediction. If somebody can predict what you do, then somebody can get in front of that and take advantage of those things, right? Like if they can predict what your mind is thinking, and they can also steer it, and we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about the difference between healthy content and empty digital calories. There's some like very innocent looking posts that can do a lot of damage. My lamp keeps going off. We're going to keep going down that path. We're going to be talking about actions, pausing, saving, scrolling, commenting, quietly retraining the feed, and how, you know, how we can pull those levers, basically using the same thing that they used to drive us, to drive the narrative back to us. So simple ways of flipping the algo script without quitting social media, how to curate your feed that supports curiosity, calm, and creativity. And finally, we're going to take some baby steps. So it's like a little program, but I know it sounds really corny, but it's like, it's a new year. And the idea is like, you have all these diets, right? Nobody ever thinks about taking a diet on their brain and their consciousness and what they're feeding their feeding themselves by consuming all this crazy content. So before I go on, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. We're going to be going, I want you to stop.
Well, for me personally, everything that this card says is so very accurate. And this is why I've taken a break, and I am not a person, I don't know how, I used to be a long time ago, but I'm no longer that scroller. I can set my phone down and not look at it for days at a time, but what I'm seeing, people reaching out to me, is they're going nuts with the stuff that they're seeing on social media. And I keep saying, well, then take a break, take a breath, you can take a leave of absence and not worry about it, but they can't.
It also depends on the platform as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not all platforms are made the same, definitely.
No.
They're not, but I would love Ben's take on what platforms, Benny, do you think are okay still? Because
I don't mind. I use Instagram for stuff like that, for the mundane, just general stuff. Generally, if I go on TikTok, within about 3 videos, I'm saying something and getting banned by 4th video.
Yes.
So it makes a difference. It's a TikTok that and X. I don't like X. I've been on it a few times.
Yeah.
And
yeah, X has a lot of issues.
I've
You
heard
got echo chambers.
funny things about that right now. There's some strange things about X.
Really,
Goga's in the house. Yoga with Goga's in the house. One of my besties. How you doing, Goga? I hope you enjoy this topic. I'm really excited about what we're going to cover. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
And you're sending hearts because he's such a sweetie. So good to see you. So people are lovely. Lulu's amazing. Love you, Lulu.
I love you. I sent a message out to Lulu saying, I love you, Lulu Bell.
Oh, that's just sweetie. So, okay, next, the difference. So, sovereignty, not restriction. So, we're not talking about going cold turkey. And some people, it's totally a personal choice, right? But some people still want to keep up with things. So, there are choices that are not totally stay out of the platform or be in it doesn't have to be such a binary choice, staying completely out or staying totally in and consuming all this stuff that's peppering you. So it's about sovereignty. It's about noticing how your attention's being shaped, because it is being shaped by what you consume. It's a vicious cycle. I mean, the more I see it, the more now I can't unsee it. Choosing, go ahead, Ben.
They can choose what you see.
Mm-hmm.
In countries, for example, during the COVID situation, there was a 16-year-old kid that died in London, in the UK, but yet I could not see it in the UK. I had to say I was in Spain to read that article. That's how bad it was. And also, we only see 5% of the internet on the clear net. There is also the dark and the deep web that's even worse than what we're seeing here.
Oh my God. And the dark web is once you go there, you're just kind of cursed, man. I'm scared to go there. I would not go there. I
won't recommend it. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
No,
so
you can't unsee some things. You just can't unsee things, right? Once you see it, it's there. It's implanted into your brain and you can never unsee it. So,
Dorothy makes a good point. Part of the issue, and a lot of people, this happens to so many people, Dot, the unfamiliarity with the different platforms and kind of the secret sauce for each of them. And how do you drive them back? They're all, and I'm going to cover that during this presentation, is for some of the main ones, not every single one, because there's so many out there. But so it is about choosing, being able to choose and start to drive the algorithm to give you something that you need more of, that you want more of and you need more of, which is not those empty calories, but healthy content. And remembering that your consciousness is not a product, even if it's often treated like one. The prize is the mind. This is the problem. The prize is the mind. And they're going to try to control it anyway because they're going to make money out of that mind. They're going to drive what we want. They're going to drive what we see. And it's just, it feels like just a big, avalanche that you can't stop. You know, it just feels like you're being run over. I mean, I don't know how you.
It feels
when
intentional and dark. Very
yes.
dark.
And when we have people like the Elon Musks of the world saying things like we have hit singularity, that's a concern, because that is what that is siphoning the consciousness of people through an open hack.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say something about the elite people and like the
Yes.
Elon Musk people?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I have been on the dark web. I have seen a lot of things. And have you ever heard of red rooms? The red rooms.
Yes, I know. I've heard of red rooms.
You're familiar? I've seen one and I've been in one and I'll never do it again. But I saw one that was from an 18-year-old girl called Amy from Leeds. It's just my local city. In
Wow.
Yorkshire. That hit home because it's close to home.
Yes.
And the first 5 minutes you get free or some on some of them. And then it's hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars or pounds or whatever it is. So it's the elite people that can get into these, not us.
They're going to make money out of anything they can, anything
Absolutely.
that can get our attention, because it is about our attention.
Absolutely.
So, okay, I'm going to go to the next one. So we're going to go through some background info, right? Let's talk about some history. Famous, my goodness gracious. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me see what's going on with this lamp before I continue to. Okay, let's see. Okay, so history, subliminal marketing from 1950s. By the way, this is all for entertainment purposes. Let me go ahead and play something real quick before we get in trouble. Hey, you got to do these things. You got to protect yourself, because if you're not very, very specific, so I do have something for that. Hold on a second, please. Let's play. Our disclaimer.
This channel provides commentary and analysis on online media, social narratives, and psychological engagement tactics. Content shown is for educational discussion and critique. We do not present unverified claims as fact. Viewers are encouraged to verify information independently and form their own conclusions.
We take things seriously around here. That one's kind of creepy and dark, which is outside, but it was like, hey, let's do some crazy stuff for New Year's. Let's switch it up, because we have to be unpredictable. That is one of the themes that we're going to be talking about.
Absolutely.
Predictability, and what a danger predictability is. So history, subliminal marketing, 1950s. They used to use single images, colors, words, flashing for such a small period of time that nobody really knew they were there. So then they started finding out that it was happening, so it was too fast to consciously notice, but the subconscious noticed. So it left lots of seeds of how to feel without you even knowing that it was there. The technique caused public panic, congressional hearings. Legacy, it planted the cultural fear that advertising could bypass free will entirely. It can't. So we're going to talk, and this is 1950s subliminal marketing, which, we've gone so far now with AI. So stop me if you want to talk about it before we go to second piece of history, Operation Mockingbird. So another method out there, right, that was found about the same period of time, Cold War era CIA program involved influencing journalists and media outlets, primarily 1950s to 70s, shaping news narratives for U.S. interests. So influencing editors, reporters, publishers, guide what stories were emphasized, downplayed, or framed in a certain way. This is before social media. So you didn't have all the capabilities that you have now to continually pepper. Go ahead, Ben.
Do we know when this ended, Mockingbird?
When this ended? Well, it wasn't in the 70s when they had the hearing, right? The church committee hearings. Well, when it officially ended is one thing versus when it really ended. Marley,
my point is with this started when there was a lot of media companies and they weren't all controlled by one certain company or maybe two. Now they're all owned by one company. So why would they need this now? Because they're all on the same control.
Absolutely. But you know why? Is because as individuals, people watch different stations and they need to hear the same script. So Mockingbird, even though they say that it's no longer, it is definitely, because you don't just get that on mainstream media.
But
You also get that at school, universities. You get that everywhere you go. You're going to hear the same silly narrative, because when you don't hear what they're saying, people stop and go, well, that's weird. That's not what I heard. And
But what I get about it is that like Fox News and then there's CNN, which is two different or whatever, it's two different sides of political spectrum. But yet, if you go deep enough in the shareholders of them companies, they're the same company.
I know.
So actually, Samsung and Apple are the same company. Boeing and Airbus are the same company.
Yes. So I don't know if you've heard of Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll is an incredible podcaster that's out there. And, he developed an app not that long ago, him and some other people. And it's really incredible because you can click on something or scan something at a grocery store and it will tell you what big company out of the elites owns all of this stuff. So like he talks things like about Hershey's chocolate bar. Hershey's isn't actually, the name is Hershey's, but they're not owned by them. So they're owned by the bigger, dark conglomerates. So this is all part of the same thing, all part of the same. Yeah, it's not going anywhere until we remove it.
I love that app, by the way. I was checking it out. I downloaded it, the Ian Carroll app, because I've been paying attention to like ingredients and, obviously with the whole Campbell soup, whatever, mess where the executive got busted talking about it. But, before that, by the way, we used to follow Ian Carroll when he had he was very small and he's grown so much now, but he's really cool. I like the rabbit holes. It's really interesting to follow his train of thought. Yeah. And he shows you kind of like his rabbit holes, how he thinks about stuff. It's really interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, with that app that he has, it's to create a healthier alternative as well for people. Or if you don't want to be spending your hard-earned money or the little money that we have on these big conglomerates, try to stick with the little mom and pop shops that are being closed all over since COVID happened. We've got to do that. We've got to try and stick to the community, and when we can, purchase things from the mom and pop instead of the big box places, because they're owned by all the crazy corporations. It should not be owned.
Exactly. And you need to know who's owning it, because like a lot of stuff seems really like looking really organic and really cool, but it's, when you look into who's selling it and what's in it, it's not what you think, I cook tortillas and I go to the store and I'm like, I did start to count the amount of ingredients that they have in store-bought tortillas. You really need 4 ingredients max if you want to get fancy with butter tortillas. You don't need, what is it, 12, 13, 40 or whatever it is. But that's probably what keeps your tortillas fresh for a year.
Right. But the thing, it's so crazy, because when I've done research, especially in the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry, when I've done the research on these two places, it's incredible the difference of what is added in the United States of America as opposed to other places in the world. So Canada doesn't have all of the ingredients.
Over here, it's a bit different with the food wise and that.
Oh, I know.
It's a bit more high standard. Yeah.
Yes, and so is Canada.
EU's higher. EU's higher than us now.
Yes.
But,
yeah. So it does make a difference. I mean, when I first came to the United States, I couldn't find any food that I thought tasted good, because it all tasted weird to me from what I was used to back in Canada. So I'm hoping Robert Kennedy Jr. takes care of that stuff. He's already started. So I think that's going to be starting to move in the right direction, getting rid of the poison.
Yep. which we've had a lot of for a long period of time. Okay, so the next, the difference was between the subliminal was about like hidden messages. This was very overt content, and this was framing the narrative. So this was like hurting the crowds, right? Then let's see what's in it. It has evolved. Over time, you got algorithmic amplification. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Emotional engagement optimization. I mean, they have a lot of strategic initiatives on how to use verbiage, imagery, fonts, colors, rage, fear, and tribal signaling. Dopamine-driven feedback loops, and I actually have some examples there. So it's no longer subliminal, it's actually hyperliminal. It's like you're being peppered with stuff, and that's the key. It's the peppering of this content to your brain and what it's doing. It's loud, it's repetitive, it's emotional. It makes you angry, right? It like makes your blood boil. You see it, you don't always realize how it's steering you, but it is. Let me just keep going, and you guys stop me. So let's talk about hijacking consciousness. Here's a fun one. I was trying to load these up as slides, but there were so many that StreamYard didn't take it. And so hijacking consciousness. And you guys tell me what you think about this. Synchronicity versus algorithmic curation. So algorithmic curation actually have algorithm curation, the selection of online media by technologies such as the recommender systems and personalized search, right? Curation entails the selective sharing of online content and recommendations based on inferred interest. So this is the famous echo chambers. So it's going to keep giving you what it wants you to have based on what you've shown interest on, right? So the algorithm is just churning and predicting. Ben, do you have something?
No, I'm sorry. I was doing some research on some companies that while you were talking from before, and I've just found some like.
Did you? Yeah. We go through it. Yeah, share. Tell me what you're talking about.
The Fox Corporation. The top 3 shareholder companies are Vanguard, Slate Street, and BlackRock.
Yeah.
The Warner Brothers company. The top three stakeholders are Vanguard, BlackRock, and Slate Street. Amazon, exactly the same. They're all the same.
Absolutely, Ben. Yep. Good job, Ben. So true. We have to pay attention to what it is we are spending our time on.
It's hurting us. We're going to talk about what it's doing to your brain. So, Dorothy, we love you. Go lay down. We're glad you're listening. If you pop up, we're here. Otherwise, we love you. We know you're listening. So thank you for being here. So this was more about like a lot of times you like think that the messages, like you listen to the messages, like the angel numbers, that's something else, right? You see the angel numbers on the clock or whatever. That's not something forcing you. But a lot of times you'll think about stuff and all of a sudden you'll see an ad about it, or you'll see a YouTube notification about it. And I'm like, wait a second, but how did it know? So it's like you start to question whether is true synchronicity versus the algorithm predicting and basically feeding you what it wants you to think, right? So the question that I think of that, was I told to think that?
Absolutely. You know what? This is a huge thing because this happens every single day in my house. In that we will have a conversation and all of a sudden, that's what's showing up on the television. That's what's showing up on my cell phone. And it could be just one thing, one little silly thing.
I'm just curious, what phone have you got?
I've got a Samsung.
Okay, that's fine. Because if you actually switch an iPhone off and say Siri, when it's off, it will come on.
Absolutely. But do you know what's happening on my Samsung, Benny? My Samsung phone, I switch off and Gemini is listening and is
provided with Android though. Android is open source software and it's an open source, so anybody can access it and change it. That's why I like the Android, because it's open source and we can then go in and adapt that. You just need to know where you're looking.
Absolutely. But
you can't on Apple.
all of this stuff I didn't consent to. I did not consent to my head being hacked. I did not consent to anything that I share in the privacy of my own home or my vehicle or a store. I don't consent to them scanning, pulling the thoughts, and then providing me all these ads that I don't want to see showing up on my television and my phone. It's cray. It's just,
It's all hidden in the T's and C's, the terms and
Yes.
conditions that we assume
Yeah.
that, we have to look
Yes.
because it's all legalese that are so
Yeah.
hard to read. Purposely, they don't
Yeah.
want you to read the T's and C's. They want you to
That's
agree
right.
and move on. So,
If you don't agree, you don't get it. If you don't agree
Yeah,
to any of
exactly.
it, you
No,
can't
well,
use it.
that's the thing. How many of us actually read those? Because we know, I've tried it before where I have declined. And then it's like, well, you can't use this service. You cannot use this platform,
Mhm.
and that's what
That is what I think. In this way, a lot of governments are going after the creator of the Signal company.
Yeah.
The Signal chat. The people are
Mhm.
behind that because
Yes.
they can't control it and see what's going on,
Yes.
and he won't let them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Hey,
So
Tim.
Timmy's here. Timmy's in the house. Hello, Timothy from Fort Worth. Okay, so things evolved, right? From media shaping like what you knew to media shaping how you feel about something. And that's very different. That's like really important, lever that they've got. And social media is now providing the mechanism to serve that at a hyper level where
Yeah.
you're being peppered every which way with the information so your brain turns into what they want. That's
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to the next one. So hijacking consciousness. Now we understand. So now we're in the present. Let's talk about each platform because not all platforms are made the same and they
No.
don't consume data the same way. So you got
Is that-
LinkedIn. Go ahead.
Isn't that new one called that Blue Sky? That's a new one, isn't there?
I'm in Blue Sky. I didn't include it because it's not like I said, I did the main ones, but Blue Sky was like Blue Sky was the option. Blue Sky all of a sudden it turned into a democratic social channel to counteract X, remember? So it's like, again, we're about this binary choices, left versus right.
At one point, couldn't they work? Democrats and Republicans could work together at one point and get things done.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah, but
they can't talk. It's
I don't
same
know.
in this country.
That's because they're trying to create major separation between the peoples of this country. That's what's happening here in real time. It's bonkers. It is. It's cray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to separate it because there's power in the numbers. And I have some use cases where I show kind of what, how they can play that. So first of all, so you got LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all career, very serious career, skills, connections, interests, and activity type. If you post a lot of personal stuff on LinkedIn, people look at you like, go back to Facebook, bro. Go back to Facebook because this is all about business. But there's a lot of stories that are posted there as well. So it is one to watch because the same post and make it another platform, make it there. TikTok is your eyeballs are the remote control, right? On TikTok, what mattered more is how long you watch a video, whether you watch it till the end. So those are the levers that it's going to figure out to see how you engage. So it's looking for,
the TikTok one will be changing though, won't it? Because it has just been bought by an Israel company, and
we'll see how it changes. Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Ben, I know people, and one of them is a business owner of an apothecary, and she is getting slammed because of the new owners that have taken over TikTok. And all she's doing is providing really good healthcare information about, supplements and herbal stuff. And they are messing with her big time. It's disgusting.
it's sad. It's sad because it's like, you're going to get run over by the same methods. They're so advanced. They know how to play us. So on TikTok, it's like rewatches, whether you pause, etc. Facebook Facebook's more about friends. You got your friend clusters, things, liking and commenting matters a lot. It's a signal emotional and topical preferences. Groups. That's huge on Facebook. It's like you have all these groups and you start to get segmented. Think about it. Every group you belong to is a data point they have on you
Absolutely.
of what you like. And this is about avoiding predictability. So look-alike audiences. So they basically look at people that like this, and that. Who else likes this, and that? What other things do they like? And how do we put it in a Venn diagram, right? They're trying to herd you into a circle that can be managed. And that's, that's still a personal opinion. We're not, blah, 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 all that stuff. Go ahead, Marnie.
Well, and I'll say, in my opinion, Facebook was one of the first social media platforms, right? And it was all of everybody's information, pictures, and all of that stuff were being sold. That has been a proven thing. That is researchable.
That's true. That is true. I've seen that.
I left Facebook years ago, but anybody who wants to, please feel free to research this stuff, because what we're saying is accurate information. And, I wasn't okay with pictures.
I believe the company's called Cambridge Analytica or something.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, we've got to be cognizant of what it is they're trying to do. They're not actually trying to provide us platforms, not any of them, where we can just socialize freely. They're paying attention to every single thing we post, every single thing we write, every single thing we say. They pay attention, and this, everybody needs to be aware of this. If you're posting pictures of children on Facebook, stop doing it. Stop doing it.
Actually, don't do it on X. X don't do it anymore.
Don't do it on any. At this point, you can't do it on any,
Apparently Grok can take the clothes off them.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's the new trend. That's crazy to me that Grok can take clothes off, can put them in a bikini, and the whole remove the criminal from this picture. I'm like, okay, think about what we're teaching the algorithm, that we're just idiots that love to do this.
My last X account I had to be careful when I opened it, because half of stuff was just like 18 plus stuff coming on. It's not a social media site anymore.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Australia's done the right thing by banning it for under 16s.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's going to be all kinds of banning. But then we start talking about, our rights, freedom of speech. And
wasn't an Israeli official on one of your news channels recently saying that they need to curb the First Amendment in the US?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's because you're talking about Israel and Palestine. You can talk about what else, but if you talk about them, it's a no.
Yeah,
exactly. But how disgusting is that they want the government in this country to change their First Amendment? That's insane.
They're doing it in a lot more than just the US, though, as well. They're doing it now.
Yes. Oh, I know.
So that's where this is where we have to take small steps to start kind of reversing things, because there's things we just cannot control at the highest levels. So we got to think about the small ripples so we can control and try to do something positive to counteract it. So on Instagram this is a little bit different than it looks at when you stop scrolling. And these are important, because if you want to get these platforms' attention, it's important to know how, what it is that they like to drive on. So that way, you're in the driver's seat. So
I like Instagram because I've saved certain types of videos on like my favorite. I've seen is certain. I get odd ones that are different, but mainly what I've saved.
Right.
And saving has a stronger, I have a whole slide on the actions and how much stronger they are, like saving, commenting versus reposting, saving versus I can't remember. So so there's likes, and how they matter differently, and in different platforms they matter differently. So and then finally you got X, which is echo chamber central. So that's what uses the algorithmic whatever it was. So curation, algorithmic curation, conversational clusters, your network engages with. So it looks like the net at each network that you're engaging with and putting you in a segment. The news and commentary threads that you read matter. Go ahead, Ben.
Every single one is censored, including X.
Oh yeah.
Elon took it over not to censor it, but yet he did in his own view.
Yeah, it's a mini. All of these platforms are a mini of its creators, right? It's like Frankenstein. It's like somebody that created a monster. So it's important to understand different platforms, different algos. We already covered this. Hold on. I'm going to slide this. Okay, important. Get to know your brain. Your brain. Getting to know your brain. This is important because your brain is the one that's it's like putty right now. It's being manipulated. So a brain is like a bouncer at a club. The club is the rest of your consciousness. So it's figuring out what it can let in, what it doesn't want. It's doing all kinds of stuff, right? And then here, I'm going to have this. By the way, I think I am going to publish this. So if people want this document, I can probably share it.
I love it.
If people ask for it.
I love the muscle brain.
The muscle man. He's like a bouncer. Core facts. His job. The brain's primary job is survival. Not happiness, not truth, it's survival, right? It constantly tries to predict what happens next. It allocates attention to what seems most relevant to safety or reward. So it's looking for reward and safety both at the same time. Accuracy matters less than the speed when threat is perceived. It's fast paced because it's fight or flight. Go ahead.
In the three things your brain can't ignore: food, sex, and death. That's why we always look at accidents when we go on the roads, when we go by them.
Rubbernecking. Yeah. Why is it that it's like it is absolute.
It's a primal summer. It's instinct.
Bye, Timmy. Yeah, so it's instinctual. It is looking. Yeah. Actually, it's like a dopamine. We're going to get to dopamine, adrenaline, and all that fun stuff because it's a joint, it's a little team effort that's taking to driving our brains. So actions matter. I'm going to talk about each one of these. So let me see. So this is what you do and how it matters. Let me see if I can actually, I'm going to, there we go.
There we go.
High amplification actions. These dramatically increase reach, even if critical. So if you do these things, this is going to pick it up right away. Angry replies, they triggers conflict loops. So it's going to find more loops to get you in because you're angry. It's going to feed off of that. Tweeting to criticize exposes to new networks. It's going to add you to other networks, and start to kind of blend all this anger in one place. Watching full videos, it means if you watch a full video, you're saying that's high value content. So if you watch that trashy video that, it's not true, but you're still going to watch it, this is what happens. So reposting for awareness, it doubles distribution. Obviously, if you're reposting, you're spreading it. Long argumentative threads sustains attention time because people love to listen to arguments. And then this is interesting. Using charged language, flagging emotional intensity, the brain impact. So this is after a long period of time of exposing your brain to this type of stuff. Reinforces stress pathways, outrage conditioning, tribal thinking, algorithm impact, maximum amplification. So what happens here is that your brain starts to act like that.
That's one of the signs of a psyop is tribalism.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to look at some posts out there and how they use these tools to drive an emotional response. I've got a digital tumor. I can't blame you. Is that XJ? XJ! It's got a digital tumor. We're here to help you, buddy. Just, this is the holistic approach to that, my friend. So medium impact. So this is, yeah, we're going on a diet to help our brains, okay? So medium impact actions. They're less aggressive, but they still count. So they're not necessarily innocent. Liking is a passive signal, limited spread. Neutral replies can still boost visibility. So it's watching that, bookmarking, low public signal, but it's there. Watching partial clips, it's weaker, but it's knowing you're watching less of this. So it has less value than those really crazy ones, but it still has value. And then following to monitor, it feeds future exposure. So if you're like kind of following and you're glancing, even as you glance through a post, it's tracking that lag, how long you're spending on it. So again, that's moderate. And then there's the low amplification ones. When you mute keywords and accounts, that's no signal to the creator. So those are really safe to use as tools. So muting, scrolling past quickly, then minimizes the dwell time. You're good. Blocking removes future exposure. Totally cool to block. Reporting accurately, don't go over report, because then that's turning into negative too. So reporting accurately is platform side review. That's only on the platform side. Nobody else really, I mean, obviously the platform and the algo know that you did it, but it's not as overt. So saving notes offline, there's no algorithm signal. Discussing off platforms. So there's ways to be able to get around all this, right? Absolutely. So tell me your thoughts, because we're going to,
Well, I think you and I do a lot of that, Akashi, because we'll talk about things outside of the platforms in our personal conversations. And that's a really good thing. That all of these are so important to pay attention to, I feel, for me.
They're just knowledge, right? We need to be armed with knowledge. If we're going to continue to feed the cogs with our data, we need to know what we're doing and what the outcome is going to be, which is you're only going to hear what they want you to hear, because the only thing you care about is what they fed you. That's my concern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so before you take action for each platform, that's what I was saying, each one's a little bit different. For Twitter, quote tweets, that's nuclear fuel. You quote tweet, that's like hot pocket, everybody's going to know. Replies, likes, and it's replies greater than likes and amplification. If you reply, that means more than if you just liked. Or threads keep posts, alive longer. So if you're using threads, that's just keeping things for longer. So on TikTok, again, the watch time is key. The facial emotion and the fear text, that's huge. That whole facial, like people's reactions to stuff, and the text, the little meme headlines, that's triggering stuff in our heads. It's like, that means I have an example, because it almost feels very personal. And the more personal, the more accurate the brain thinks that it is. Even though it's just some random person, making a video, it seems whoever the person is, their appearance makes a difference. And that they're making a very raw video, that's also giving it more of credibility. Stop me if I'm talking too much. I just fired up on this.
No, this is good.
So on Facebook, shares is more important than comments. Family and friends make content feel trusted. You get those, messages from your family and friends. And by the way, they're being peppered just the same. So we're all in this together, High School Musical. Emotionally framed posts persist longer. When they're emotional and they're usually trashy, my gosh, we love trash. We love to share trash. Why? It's like, if you stop sharing trash, maybe we won't see it and we won't be resharing it. It's just, I'm starting to get to, I'm going to a 15. YouTube is long watch time. Long watch time is more important than comments. If somebody posts something on this show, regardless of what the comment is, great. But if you watch it, that means so much more to that algorithm. Pausing and rewinding boosts ranking. So if you pause and rewind, if you want to really boost something positive, and that's what we're going to get to, is what do we want to be boosting? You can use strategies in each other's platforms to trick the platform into thinking this is really important, because we're fighting the wave is coming this way and we got to back it up, right? We got to put a dam first. It's like start pushing stuff back.
Right, so
Um,
Chris, are you saying that everyone in the chat now has to pause it and rewind 10 seconds just to get the thing?
I know, repause and rewind. Now
We'll
it's
wait.
going
We'll
live.
wait for you.
Pause, rewind 10 seconds and come back to us. We'll be here. That's really good, Betty. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, so next, because I have a case study, you guys. This is a fun case study. You want to see a case study? We don't have that many people watching, but whenever you rewatch, you'll see a case study, you guys. Although XJ is there, and Lulu is there. So case study. Little Johnny. What's happening in the world, says little Johnny. He wakes up, he's like, oh, da, 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 da. He wakes up, he's like stretching. I'm going to go look at my social media and see what's going on. Flag number. Bam! After a few minutes of doom scrolling, can you relate? This is what's happening. Little Johnny is pissed already. By 4:30, I wake up at 4, so I'll be little Johnny. By 4:15, I'm already activated because I went into my very addictive X feed, specifically X. That's probably the deadliest one to look at night. Don't look at it at night. Don't look at it in the morning. But okay, so what happened? Huh?
TikTok's mine.
TikTok. Everybody has their flavor.
Three videos and that's it.
Okay. And then, so he's going to TikTok, right, or to X, right? And he sees all this stuff and then he's angry. And then that same platform tells him, hey, we have these Calm X. It's like magical pills. They're going to make you feel so much better about the fact that we're like beating up your brain. And he's like, and it's like same platform is suggesting solutions, same platform that caused the problem. And by the way, money is behind all of it. So what's next for poor little Johnny? Poor little Johnny. I thought it was a solution. So now that he got the Calmex pills that the platform told him to take for the rage that it cost originally, now he's watching more news about the solution. Now they're arguing the solution's bad. The solution's good. Take the solution. Don't take the solution. So, I mean, he's just getting angrier and angrier as we go along. So here's the debates and controversies about the solution. Are they bad or good? I don't know what to think anymore. And I think that's the key. People not knowing what to think anymore. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's truth. We don't know, right? I mean, I know little Johnny's world is about to go to hell right here in a second. So then little Johnny decides, I don't have a solution. I think I'm going to go search for a solution. And he winds up in downtown Portland. And then he's like looking for answers. And then he winds up finding the Fentbent people that are in downtown Portland. And then he tries the good stuff from Venezuela. Can you see how poor little Johnny's life just went down the toilet real quick? But it's not over. Because it's the good stuff from Venezuela. So now he's hooked. Now the comics is no longer good enough. It's this stuff. And now he has hit rock bottom and he gets arrested because now he's the enemy of the state. And then now people on drugs must be institutionalized. So poor little Johnny is now going to be sent to the institution. More bad news for little Johnny. Then, because he's in an institution, they're going to strip him of all his tax money he ever put in the system. And now it's theirs. And now little Johnny's just kind of checked out of society altogether. So don't be little Johnny. You know,
when he gets released, he's got nothing and has to start from scratch. So is that
exactly. It's exactly. And he lost everything he had. Now, this is obviously a parable and a very exaggerated one. But if you're feeding your brain with negative stuff constantly, this is not that far-fetched.
I know somebody that this happened to. We have a friend on X that actually happened to.
Oh my God, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. And
I remember him.
And he was institutionalized. He was arrested. Then he was put in a hospital. Then he was forced vaccines and they doped him all up. And then he went off the deep end completely, which was just so sad. I saw that. I wanted to comment on that.
X Day. I got fired from
city. Know about that.
Yeah, tell us more, buddy. That's crazy.
Saying
Yeah.
that they do that over here. My mum's a postwoman over in the UK, and they have to carry a PDA. It tracks their location at all points. If they don't, they can get sacked.
Wow.
This is going to happen more and more, you guys. The trends are there. This is
Yeah.
going to be like the more and more they need to track us. You know,
Crazy.
crypto, digital, you know, digital
But
like
what else
banking.
was saying, that was back in 2014 when that happened. So we are way further along in all of this than what XJ was in 2014 when that
I know
happened.
my mum's been. I know Royal Mail in the UK, the postal service has been using them for at least 5-10 years now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is.
Okay, so here's another example. And this one was based on our own experience. So meet distracted Daria. She is community oriented. She loves activism. She's a UFO enthusiast, checking her social feed for the latest news from out there. She's just a happy camper. Look how happy poor little distracted Daria is. Power in numbers. The community engages in social media with X spaces and posts to share the latest news and activism opportunities. In this case, it's about UFOs. So you got this, you know, the picture shows everybody, you got a nice, healthy community. And that is a red flag for a lot of people because that means power in numbers. And we can't have that. So next, Triple D comes into play. Triple D will find you. Triple D, she distracts, divides, and discourages. Is an approach. Look at all the bots. This is where the bots, I remember,
Yeah.
was it bring in the fembots? Remember?
Yes.
Austin Powers, bring in the fembots. There we go. Bring in the bots. Approach to managing online communities you want to control. So you can create all kinds of crazy conflict, turn people against each other, divide a community to where there's nothing left to argue with you.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, let's have them argue about the stupid stuff. Let's have them argue about the real silly, non-relevant, because in the UFO community, we argued about a lot of non-relevant crap. And it's like, it had nothing to do with the topic, you know, it had nothing to do with the topic. So,
keep it distracted. Divide and conquer and distract us. It's just as simple as that.
Xbox, an update from from XJ. No more company phones or vehicles for me. Good for you.
Yeah.
Don't take them.
Thumbs up, brother.
There's more ways to control you. Okay, so the Triple D comes in, and then followed by the power couple, bringing in instigation, the adrenaline. Oh, come on, there we go. Adrenaline dopamine tag team. How do they work together? Adrenaline grabs you, and dopamine keeps you. They're quite a powerful little couple. And if used properly in social posts, they can really do a job on people. Your brain likes the conflict because it's survival, right? So it is used to manipulate you, but it likes that conflict because it's trained to like it. And all of a sudden, a distracted Daria is out, you know, going, fight, destroy. You know, are you not entertained? She's at the Roman, you know, and she wasn't like that before. She was just a normal, happy human.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and here's the breakdown. Adrenaline, the hook chemical. What triggers it online? It's important that we understand our problem. Breaking news banners, adrenaline. All caps headlines, red notifications, urgent, shocking, you won't believe it. Conflict, outrage, fear, and threat. Isn't that funny? Nothing cool triggers adrenaline for some reason. It's like nothing like nice, you know? And this is what it does. It narrows your attention. It takes the brain and goes, nope, you're going to focus on this. It speeds the reaction time because it's fight or flight. So it's now waiting.
It's their language they use as well. Certain languages. Like you can distract people in different ways.
Exactly. And
the Israel and Gaza thing. The Israeli hostages, the Gaza prisoners in the Israeli prisons that haven't been charged with a crime. But you still feel sorry for these hostages. You don't. Yeah. It's just how we think. We're trained to think like that.
Yeah, and they're amplifiers. We'll talk about that. People that usage is like amplifying the emotion. Okay, more updates. I love updates from XJ. You'll
I
be
know.
using cash only. No plastic. Borrowed YouTube. Facebook is my weakness.
Me
With
too,
that,
XJ. Cash only for me. No plastic for
I
me.
wish I wish I could do that. I need to do that. So anyway, so it reduces nuance and long-term thinking. You stop asking, is it true? This is very important. You stop asking, is this true? And you
Yes.
start asking, what side am I on? It's like it immediately makes you pick a side. That binary, left versus right, red versus blue, conservatives versus liberal. Nothing's ever in the middle for good old Miss Adrenaline.
There's always two sides to a story, and one side is always biased.
Yeah,
It's
and it
generally
has
in
to
the
be like
middle
a
of it.
binary. Oh my God, Marcel is here. Marcel, we love you, Marcel. Okay, so next goes to, from Miss Adrenaline, we're going to Mr. Captain Dopamine. He's the slot machine. He is like a casino. What triggers it? Likes, hearts, and retweets. So the more you like, the more dopamine is going to say, ooh, you like that? I'm going to give you more of that and more of that and more of that. Keep you coming because I know you like it, right? Comments, it looks at the comments and replies, the notifications that are arriving unpredictably. It sends you notifications. It's like testing the waters. How many times do you get notifications for stuff that you never even signed up for or never looked at? I find those really interesting, those random ones for people you don't follow, for channels you're not even subscribed to.
Well, we have a hard time finding each other's stuff because
exactly.
that disappears and we are connected all the time. So this is what is happening across the board, in my opinion.
Exactly. We love you too, Marcel. Send Hellfire over here. He needs to watch this. Oh my God, I summoned him. Hey, sorry we're late. Hellfire. Mr. Hellfire's in the house. Okay. Hi, buddy. So, oh my God, Marley, our next project, Mr. Hellfire has made some really cool music and we're going to make some videos. So I need to show you that. So we'll be talking. He's just like complete downloads. He's just sharing information.
Awesome.
Familiar. Okay. So what dopamine does, it reinforces the behavior. That's the one that's going to keep you coming. You know how sometimes things are just not good enough anymore? It's like you did something and it felt really good. And then all of a sudden it doesn't. It's like, there we go. It's like, ooh, we want more, right? That's dopamine. It's not good enough. Let's do that again. Let's beat that. Let's do it again. So it makes scrolling feel really purposeful. And it trains anticipation rather than satisfaction, right? So then the feedback loop. The trifecta. So you got dopamine, adrenaline in your brain. Dopamine rewards engagement, the brain. And then adrenaline spikes attention. So the combination of the two in making the brain feel that emotional intensity equals value. All of a sudden, value, I have to click on this. I have to look at that. Did you really have to? Or did something tell you to? That's where it's like once you start looking at these trends, I think you're going to start like noticing that you're being driven. What do you guys think before I move on to the next section here?
This is bang on.
So spotting the culprits. Posts that use both. Those are the most, some of the most dangerous because it's like boom, boom, boom. They just, one feeds the other and it's a vicious cycle. Threat and reward, outrage and validation, fear and belonging. They want you to be scared. Then they want you to feel like you're part of a club. You belong here scared. It's okay to be scared. Tell each other a story, but you stay here scared. Conflict, plus identity. It's like presenting a conflict. So all of a sudden this conflict becomes my identity. This conflict doesn't become what I don't want conflict to be what I'm made of. So examples, things that say, they don't want you to know this. If you care about this, you must see that, right? Everyone's talking about this except you. That FOMO. FOMO is a huge lever pull in emotion. So the message is no longer just informational, it's biochemical. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to keep going. Cool? We're going to keep going? Okay. Oh, yeah. And what was the aftermath of poor little distracted Daria? Once an active community left with the aftermath. No community. You see the poor little people all broken. It's funny how it automatically I didn't say put the aluminum hat on, but it did. So no community, no answers, no union, no power, nothing to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what they wanted?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, isn't that exactly what they want?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the community's no longer there to fight anything. They all
They
hate
don't want
each
you-
other.
They don't want you questioning what they say though as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens in unity. That happens in communities when you start like bouncing off each other. You know, the individual contributor doesn't have a lot of, it doesn't get much out of this, or it doesn't make a lot of headway. So have no fear. Professor Neuroplasticity is here. So neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change its structure and function based on experience. So it changes it physically. So it's not like we're stuck with this hell that they've placed in our heads. There's ways to reverse that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the liver's one of the organs that really kind of heals itself the most. The brain has, it can be putty-like. So we're going to talk about that, how it works. Your brain, when you experience something, a thought, an emotion, a behavior, a scroll, a fear spike, so the neurons activate, the circuits light up, all this is happening and you don't even know, right? Repetition strengthens the circuit. Oh my God, is that Joshua?
Yes. Hi,
Joshua! Hi, honey. So long. So good to see you. So the signals travel faster. Next time, your brain learns this matters. And because this matters is going to keep like looking for that. And the algorithms are going to keep feeding it to you because they know you. Prepare for this. Again, the brain doesn't judge truth. That's really important to know. You think that the brain is reacting at a subconscious level, is not judging truth. It tracks frequency and emotional intensity. And even though you might think that logically you can say, I'm not going to get involved in this, there's stuff happening to your brain behind the scenes that you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And but the good thing is that it can strengthen and find new pathways. So there is hope. And here it is. So it's turbocharged by certain things, right? Fear, reward, anger, anticipation, threat, and belonging. That's just examples. One terrifying headline can outweigh 10 calm facts. So when you go and meditate and then you look at like just crazy story, that just undid everything you had done earlier. So repeated outrage. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just was saying absolutely.
Repeated outrage reshapes baseline mood. Baseline mood. You start to train your brain and now you start to be that angry person in the morning more chronically. So you're no longer kind of waking up in that nice mood. It starts to reprogram you. And that's where doom scrolling feels compulsive because misery loves company, you guys. And that misery wants more misery. So your brain is doing its job. It's predicting danger and reward, but it only knows, it's being very instinctual and not or reactive. There we go. It's being reactive and not really consuming, right? But here's the good news that because it's turbocharged by this, it's also turbocharged by calm, focus, joy, curiosity, presence, and compassion. So what does that mean? We can use the same that's being used to twist us into the pretzel of emotional hell to untwist us from that pretzel and restate where we want to be baseline on a daily basis. That's the goal, right? So small repeated inputs reshape the brain, right? Touching grass, believe it or not, these are things that will reshape your brain that are actually like therapeutic. Touching grass, petting a dog, baking bread. I keep coming up with that. That keeps popping up in my feed. It's like baking bread being the Eucharist. Baking bread being like you're actually like an alchemist. Baking bread's a huge one. Learning something slowly, not that quick, like slow down. And I say this knowing that I'm one of the fastest, like my brain goes so freaking fast. I hate it. But I have to change. I personally, I'm doing this because I want to share it with you guys, but I feel like I have to change. Laughing with someone you trust. Laughing is such a great I mean, that it releases so much that you don't realize that when you guffaw, right, Ben? It's like when you're having a really crappy day, a really crappy day, and you just find something hilarious. How do you feel?
It just brighten your mood, yeah.
Yes,
It,
absolutely.
it flushed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, but again, to know what we're dealing with, we gotta discern the good from the bad. So here's some bad posts versus good posts. What they look like, the bad ones first. All caps, red alerts. They don't want you to know this. Screenshots of arguments. Screenshots, right? A lot of DMs. That's a good one. Moral pressure. You know, good people agree, bad people don't. That make a choice. It's usually a lot of pressure and time, right? What they do to you, they spike adrenaline, they narrow the thinking. We already talked about that. Leaving agitation with no resolution. That's probably the key thing. You're agitated and there's no resolution. So, what are you going to do? Tight, and there's body signals to it. Tight chest, fast thumb, racing thoughts. I should respond energy. You feel like you have to. There we go. I'm gonna get them. They piss me off. Just wait till I tell them, and then I'm gonna repost it, and then I'm gonna tag a bunch of people because I need to get this anger out. I'm so angry. And then there's the good post, right? Oh, Zen. Longer explanations, neutral or warm tones. I mean, even my voice starts to feel better when I'm looking at the good posts. Curiosity-based titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guess what? Something cool that doesn't say, you must see this right now or you'll die. It has to be like, hey, isn't this nice? Ta-da! Presenting. Restore agency. Leave you clearer than oh my God, I'm sorry. Process learning, making, like a process, learn something. Conversations instead of combat. So what they do to you, they steady the dopamine.
Yeah.
They don't beg for that. They steady the waters, expand understanding. They start to restore agency. They leave you clearer than before. Body signal, slower breath, relaxed shoulders. Like I'm totally different now, right? Time distortion in a good way. And I learned something. I feel good about that post because I learned something. I'm not just angry for no reason.
Yes.
Any thoughts before we move along?
I don't do that.
You what?
I don't do that. They can call me every name under the sun, and they can call me every name under the sun, and I agree with them, and then that's it. And then I'll say, right, this is how it is. I'll be very sarcastic with them. That's how it is.
Hey, that's
They
totally
can call me,
okay.
call me
I
Hitler.
love that.
Man. Yeah, could have told you that myself.
Come here, Hitler. You're not telling me anything I don't tell myself on a daily, says Ben.
I could have told you that 10 minutes ago. Get on with it. See what's next.
I love
Move
that.
on.
That's a good attitude to have. So, okay, let's have some fun, you guys. So, as part of this whole thing, right? So, I was talking about good posts and bad posts. I did this crazy thing. I hope it's in this presentation. I did this crazy thing. So, I pulled some posts from X. And after working with ChatGPT for a long time, just kind of crafting what I wanted to see, created this social post scan thing, right? And I'm like running it through. And I found it really, really informative. So I'm going to go ahead and share. So, and this is not, I have posts from every side here. So I picked 3 random posts. We have one that's Donald Trump talking about Cuba. Hold on. Let me go. So we got Donald Trump talking about Cuba, large amounts of oil and money. I'm not trying to advertise this. I'm just trying to show it as an example. So I got one that talks about Cuba. I have one from Newsom's office that talks about, the fraud, quote unquote fraud. And then finally, this other one, this woman has a horrifying warning of Islam for the UK, right? So I picked these 3. And I ran them through this little scan. And here's the first one, Donald Trump. And this is not picking on anybody. This is exactly what it told me. So this is a red light post. Threat, coercion, and deadline framing. Dehumanize. I didn't write this, okay? ChatGPT gave me this, and I didn't shape anything or tell it to do anything. Dehumanization. You were talking about the terms, right, Ben? Dehumanization and moral compression, where it's like thugs, extortionists, held them hostage. Those words said that way are meant to lower empathy, simplify moral reasoning, and make coercive responses feel justified. It does certain things. Words matter.
US government did do that in the first Gulf War, and so did Israel done, dead babies in the Kuwait hospital back in the first one, and then in Israel, which there wasn't. In both cases, it was a lie, but that's everyone wants reaction, dead babies, and that it's red. We all see it.
Yeah. My brain moves faster than I can think, says Mr. Hellfire. Yeah, because your subconscious doing the work back there. You just don't know. So, okay, so that's part of it. We're not done here. That was just the beginning. So, red light, explicit deadline pressure before it's too late. That's a red flag right there. Deadlines combined with threats, coercive urgency, a classic escalation technique. And then in the adrenaline versus dopamine profile, it actually checks out for dominant system that activated is more adrenaline, but it's pulling on all these little signals start to say overall arousal high. So it's high on the adrenaline scale. Yeah. Here's an orange light. That does not mean it's less, they're both dangerous in different ways. Moralized institutional conflict framing. This is the Governor Newsom over the fraud. Here's adversarial political narrative built on a real legal event. So it's looking at something that happened. Not panic content, but it's emotionally loaded and conflict oriented. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Judgment before facts are examined. This is where it starts to look like this has already been baked. And that document makes it look really official with that banner says blocked. All of it, this tells a story that's not necessarily what's on the post. You know what I mean?
Well, it forces you to want to look at it because of that banner specifically. It's like, what are we blocked from? Let's be a block.
You got to know what you're being presented with and why, right? Motivation, attribution, as settled fact, right? Trump politically motivated child care cuts. I mean, not really a lot of detail. Intent is stated on fact, not interpretation. Moral certainty. It's like it throws a lot out there, reduces tolerance for ambiguity because you already signed up, right? And the key to this one is the children. Children are the moral amplifier of this post. And unfortunately, they shouldn't use the victims or children or innocent people to play us.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they might put a freaking lie in front of our face and they will say it hurts kids to make us feel like if we don't agree, we're unethical. That's huge. They make disagreement feel unethical.
Yes.
Don't be anti-Semitic. Don't be anti-kids. It's like they're embedding some messages that don't belong there to make it stronger, to give it more power. And that just freaking pisses me off. I'm going to do an Erin Brockovich. That just freaking pisses me off.
Love her.
And I love Erin Brockovich. So, and here for that particular one, here's the breakdown of adrenaline versus dopamine. So it says moral anger and relief, arousal levels moderate. This is not red light panic, but it does activate identity and conflict circuits. So it's painful as well. Everybody does it, is my point. This is not one side does it. It's happening everywhere. So they don't fix one side without fixing the other. They have to fix both sides. So we're being peppered with different. And a lot of times I think that I'm sorry, I'm just talking nonstop and please stop me. But I feel like a lot of times we say something doesn't make sense. This is why.
Absolutely.
Because they're being driven by a different narrative and a different reality that we're not seeing because we're being driven by one method. I don't know.
They're trying
Help me.
They're trying to tell us the truth with a narrative on it that's not in our favor.
Exactly. So in this case, and these scans are cracking me up because it says what it does to your brain. Like after you see a lot of these posts, and I mean, a lot of times you see the same type of posts, like same method, different topics, just pepper, 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 right? So the long-term effect is that repeated exposure will train the brain to normalize coercive geopolitics, expect force over diplomacy, accept unsourced claims when emotionally charged, and maintain chronic vigilance. Now, over time, this raises baseline hostility, reduces tolerance for ambiguity, reinforces zero-sum thinking, and then you wonder why you're mad.
Right.
This is why we're pissed off. I mean, oh, here we go. I think that Joshua agrees with us. Bingo! This is why we're pissed off, you guys, because we're being trained to be pissed off.
Absolutely.
So here's another one. This is interesting, right? So this one, I find is very fascinating to see the psychology of how we're being manipulated. So here's another one. This is by Wall Street Apes. Nothing personal. This is just a big random ones. So subtype. So this is fear conditioning with multi-layers. Visual authority and cultural symbol anchoring and out-group threat narrative. The emotional amplifier on this one is the lady. The lady taking that video herself. And that text right there is like, ooh, this is so true. This must be true. That lady looks really upset. And she took the time to like take that video herself. So here's casual handheld video, authenticity cue. The unpolished street level style. So the unpolishing, it's saying this is in media, this is real. So it's making your brain accept it as true. This makes unverified claims feel so more true. Text overlay with the scary, you see this all over TikTok. You're Mr. TikTok, right, Ben? You see the big banner, scary.
Yeah.
Stop now.
After
If you don't know this, you will die.
After you've done, I'll tell you what, I'll give you what my response to this would be.
Please.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish what you were saying, and I'll give you mine.
No. I'm. This is back and forth. This is it.
For a start, that's not a news channel in the UK, and she looks like she's just come out of a frigging house party with a broomstick. I'd be telling her to go back home on a broomstick to get some stats. Come back when she gets actual percentage points and tells me what that's happening. Because the Muslim population in the UK is 6%. 43 is Christian. 43% is Christian. How have we got a Muslim problem?
Right. I know.
This is why we're here. Because the narratives are narrating whatever they want you to feel when they want you to feel it. And the end game is what you do with that feeling.
Right.
That's unfortunate part. So that's that post. And then look at the score on this post. Emotional hijacking, high. Dehumanization, high. Polarization, high. Misinformation susceptibility, high. Violence normalization, implicit is medium. Healthy engagement value is low. So this is one of those crap posts that you need to kind of just, repeated exposure to posts like this can send to sensitize threat detection.
With this subject, though, I did do the PSYOP scoring sheet that it's done by Chris in CIAH, ex-CIAH.
Oh, cool.
I did that. And I did it with the small boats in the UK, and it came up a very high probability of a PSYOP. Partly based on truth, but partly based on lies.
Yes.
There is a small boat problem. There is a small boat problem coming to the UK, but it's 1.2% of immigration. 1.2%. Yeah. But they've amplified it to make it sound, and they've done it with it all. It's a PSYOP. All of it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In this episode, we're doing more doom scrolling, but PSYOPs, I'm thinking that's episode 2. And we'll talk about that because in 21 days, we're going to get back together. So there's a program that goes along with this, but I think that's something. And I would love to have your opinion on that, Ben, and you're part of the fam. So please, I'd love to have you. So repeated exposure, us versus them. It's always that, isn't it? It's about divisions, us versus them. Prime acceptance of authoritarian solutions. It's not informational content, it's conditioning content. So it's important to know this is not news, this is conditioning.
There is context to this because it's part of the Reform Party of the UK.
Mhm.
But they're saying they're the party of the people, but every MP is a CEO of a big company in the UK.
Yes.
Not normal people.
No.
And they want to get rid of the NHS in the UK, which has problems, but it's a pretty decent health service.
And I want to
they
be
just tell
clear.
me-
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
They're
Ben.
all funded, and Tommy Robbins and all that, it's all funded by Israel. So there's a narrative to it.
Mhm.
They want us to hate the Muslims in the UK, so they divide us.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
And it's not, and that's what, and we need to look at it from both sides.
Yes.
I want to be clear. I'm not saying that these aren't problems. This is just, you know, that the stories aren't true. The stories might be true, but these posts are not about informing you about the story. They're about making you feel something, you know,
There is problems, but they amplify it to make it worse than it actually is.
Yes.
They're trying to make you concentrate on that while they're doing something else. That's what I feel.
Yeah, we're glad you're back, Dot, in any way we can get you. So thank you for coming back. So I'm so glad you like this. So, okay, so the next, and we're almost there, baby steps. Now we're going to take some steps, right? It's about interrupting the chemistry. It's about breaking the cycles. So small resets, pause before reacting.
Absolutely.
Turn off the red badges. Your notifications are driving your mood. Switch to chronological feeds. We'll talk about that later, but touch something real after scrolling. Go live the 3D life, you know, because it's out there. Seek content that steadies instead of spikes. Steady Eddie. So watch your verbiage. You know, this is something that Marley and I talk about all the time. There's a big difference. Words matter, right? These posts have words, and those words are training our brains. So those words matter in every way. So when you look at watch your verbiage, think about the difference of I have to do something today versus I get to do something today. Didn't that feel different?
Absolutely.
That feels different to me. So, and then we're going to talk about one. This is something I came up with, behavior laundering. We're going to talk about that in a second. So, calm is Ben's back. Calm is not boring.
The thing with reading things, you're not hearing how they're talking and their tone of voice. You're trying to work out how they are as in face to face. You've got the tone of voice because a lot of our communication is not verbal.
Do you know what?
A lot of written things can be taken the wrong way.
Absolutely correct, because I usually, in leaving people messages, I often choose to leave a voice clip instead of a typed out message, because so many people get things wrong. They will take offense to something that isn't meant to be offensive, you know. So I like to provide my voice as a message instead, so people can feel and hear my vibration and what the purpose is behind what I'm saying. Is it angry? Is it indifferent? Or is it chill, peace, happy, whatever? It's important to me, and I'm really happy that you brought that up today, because everybody that knows me well knows that I always opt to use a voice clip as opposed to texting something. I love that you brought that up, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. So, hi, Rockstar 8970 Abel. I finally got your name right. Like being able to say it fast without without tripping all over it. So, welcome to the show. So, what is behavior laundering? Oh, by the way, calm is not boring. Calm is unmonetized. This is a problem, that calm, it doesn't become exciting. It's the dirt. It's the stories, right? The gossip that becomes fun. Let's talk about, excuse me for a second, let me cough. And I did not put it on mute before I coughed. I was trying to. Behavior laundering. Behavior laundering. The deliberate reduction, distortion, or scrambling of behavior signals to prevent reliable profiling, prediction, or tracking. This is something we need to use, guys. It's not paranoia. The systems know because they're so advanced now, and AI is super quantum powerful. It knows everything you've ever done, and it remembers it right there. And we don't. We don't have those memories. So it's like, this is not paranoia. We're trying to balance things out, correct things in a world where these systems remember much more than we're able to. And I have a couple of images here that I pulled up. Obviously, Ozark because of the laundering, but there's a reason for that. But Everything
Love
Everywhere All at Once. I love that show so much.
Yeah.
But it was about hiding, right? That one was about hiding. This is about a healthy level of cleansing so people don't track you. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I brought that up because that movie reminds me of tricking the system, shaking things up, doing something unpredictable to shake things so the world's not such a predictable cog, right? It's just spinning, and you need to make it unpredictable. That cash out voucher, I'm gonna share a story for those that go to casinos. When you go to a casino, you get these little tickets, right? You go and you put money into one machine, and when it's done, it gives you a voucher rather than cash. You have to go to another machine to cash those vouchers out. But here's the trick of those vouchers, right? So now that voucher becomes the tag that is letting the casino know when you came in, how much you spent, and how much losing is happening. How much are you winning or losing? And it will tweak it in the next machine you go to. That is how casinos work. This is a technology they have. So those little vouchers are a way for them. It's convenience for you, but they're really a way for them to track you everywhere in that casino. So a friend of mine taught me this, and I've been using it a lot lately. Not that I go to the casino a lot, but when I do, it's like when I drink Dos Equis. When I go to the casino, I don't use the vouchers. I'll tell you what happens with the vouchers. So this is what I personally do. I go to a machine, I put in my cash, right? The machine loses, right? I lose on that machine. I take out my little voucher. If it's the machine that I lost in, I'll reuse that voucher again. But the minute that I win on that card, because if you lose, remember dopamine, they want you to keep coming back. They're going to throw you more winnings to keep you coming back. The minute that you win, cash out your voucher. That is behavior laundering at the casino. And it's not bad. You're just basically saying, I'm not going to tell you more about what I'm doing. I don't need to. This is not illegal. It's inconvenient because you cash it out, but that way you have cash and it doesn't know where you went next. So it wipes out the memory of all the machines that you've played in the casino. Same thing with your online behavior. Make it sparse. Make yourself unpredictable. Don't leave so many traces of what you love, because all that is used against you. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Thoughts?
How about can I give you a tip? Just use a VPN.
Go ahead.
Try a VPN.
Yeah, and I usually use that only for work. But
try different browsers as well. Like
different browsers, different platforms, VPNs. We're going to keep giving people advice here because this is kind of what it's about.
Probably the best PC and phone software and apps you can get is something that's open source that you can see the code for.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Firefox is an open source browser.
Oh my God, I used to hate Firefox because a lot of stuff didn't work on Firefox, remember?
I use Firefox I use a Tor browser, but that's for the dark web.
Mm. So yeah, I mean, there's ways to kind of not become so obvious in an online world. Here's an interesting one that I read about this morning: perfection only content. So this one is also a problem, believe it or not. You see a lot of perfection things, right? What is it? It shows outcomes without process, polish without struggle, identity without cost, right? It's like post and make everything seem so composed optimized. It's perfect, right? Things just seem so perfect, like those recipes that always, they don't show the details. They magically go from starting to knead to, oh, it's perfectly kneaded piece of bread, or loaf. It doesn't show the details. No uncertainty, no mess, no contradiction, no recovery phase. Just a finished statue, never the chisel marks. And I have examples. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's like, I figured it out. Success stories. I figured this out. I know how to do it, and doesn't show you any details. Or calm influencers, or political certainty without doubt. It's just really interesting. It's like everything just seems so perfect, very Truman Show. And what does it do to your brain? Believe it or not, these guys are not harmless. Confuse absence of struggle with mastery. So it's like your brain learns, if it were real, it would look easy. This quietly devalues effort, learning, and patience. It's crazy what it's doing to your brain behind the scenes. Trigger comparison loops. You start to compare, why doesn't my bread look like that? Why doesn't my project that I learned from this video that says magically is going to look like, the beautiful decorations that just magically happen? And when you try them, it's a pain in the butt to do it. It activates default mode network. So it's like, it starts using self-evaluation. You start to beat yourself down because of the perfection pose. I never thought about it that way. Right? It's like that something that looks so perfect could actually be dangerous. Flattening emotional range. When everything online is composed and resolved, normal anxiety feels like failure. Normal doubt feels like weakness. Normal grief feels wrong because people have been able to work through it. Why can't I? Right? The brain begins rejecting its own humanity. This is just really fascinating stuff. Perfection-only content doesn't inspire action. It actually paralyzes it because you think, I can never do it that way. I'm not even going to try.
I've heard of that one before.
Have you heard it? Yeah, I didn't hear that till today.
People go on and see perfect lives and perfect relationships and that, and they're like, mine's not like that? And then it's a spiral from there.
Mhm.
Humans are always going to compare my issue to theirs. Hold on, Dorothy has something to say. I learned something feeling. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from the show. I appreciate you bringing forward this level of detail in the subject. Thank you so much, Dodd. I'm just so excited that you guys, brave browser. Yes. So, but anyway, so yeah, even the innocent ones could harm you in some way if you're always peppering yourself with them, right? Everything is by limit, like how much you allow it to happen. So should we try something different? So this is where we're going to come up with a little program, right? Let me cough again. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put it on mute now. Okay, did it right this time. Okay, should we try something different? Let's take some baby steps. So here's a little program. And here's what we're suggesting. And Marley and I were talking about. This is a 21-day program. For 21 days. Let's try something. Let's see if we can steer the ship. Let's see if we feel better. So on a daily basis, whether you post or you're engaging with a post, try social media, but try it with very, very specific purpose. React to one thoughtful post. This on a daily. Explains an idea, something that explains an idea calmly, teaches you instead of provokes. And now we know what they look like, right? Because we have like the fonts, the speeches, the triggers that it uses. It makes you think for a moment. And what you need to do, pause, read it so it knows that you read it, save or like. That way you're telling the system, I like this. Avoid post yelling for agreement. If it's like pressuring you, disengage. Don't fall to pressure because pressure has some hidden triggers in there. Yeah. Second, one human story. If you see a human story, read it. A real person sharing a lesson learned, not a perfection, an actual lesson learned. There's a lot of great stories out there people are sharing. Nobody clicks on them. A small win, a moment of honesty. Like things, we're purposely searching for this type of stuff. on those, react or comment kindly. Like, go ahead and put a comment on the human story. Avoid those comparison traps. That it's a human story, but your human story is not like my human story. It's unfair to you, isn't it? Just be careful with those.
Psychology does say that we're attracted to mistakes and not repulsed by perfection because it makes us more human, and
well,
we do make mistakes.
That's a great point. Aren't we here to make mistakes and learn?
Yes.
We're here to learn and feed. The universe is learning with us, right? So that's probably why those mistakes are so important, right, Marley?
Yeah, well, we can't grow and evolve without them. So if our life is perfection, why are we here? There's no growth to be had. There's no soul to evolve. If we do not fall on our face and make mistakes sometimes, I mean, I love talking about things I've done in my life that didn't turn out so well in hopes that somebody else can take that and learn something from it, because I had to learn from it. But these things are important, and that's why we're all here. And that's also why we're all here as a different consciousness. So, because if we were all the same, there would be no purpose for any of us to be here either. There'd only be a purpose for one.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that.
It'd be dead boring.
But did you say?
It could get boring.
It'd be dead boring.
Yeah.
I couldn't do with that. I can't be here for 10 minutes. Never mind longer than that.
Well, hold on. So, one creative thing. React to art, writing, music, building, cooking, fixing something. This encourages creation. You encourage it out of others. You can post about it too if you're creating. It's important that we keep creating. And what do? You appreciate the effort. Comment, like, whatever you want on those type of posts. It's okay. But again, avoid perfection-only content. But in addition, we're talking about, Marley and I were talking about the importance of expressing gratitude every single day. Start your day with, even if even if the day before was crap.
Absolutely.
Express gratitude about today, because there's so many great things to be grateful.
And wake up being grateful that you're breathing. That you woke up breathing. Yay! Be grateful for that.
Exactly. It's like that's anything you want to be grateful about. I mean, there's so much beauty in the world. You can just look outside and there'll be something. There's going to be something. So in addition, weekly, and I'm saying weekly, you probably can do it more often, but these are baby steps, right? Weekly, do something. Do one of the following. Like for the next 21 days, learn something new. Bake or cook. Try artwork or music. Go grounding. Go outside and just take your shoes off and hug a tree. Hug a tree. I didn't put that in there, but ground, hug a tree. Spend time outside. Time with animals. Petting animals. Feeling their energy. Go ahead, Ben.
I find just walking, switching off your phone and everything else, and just walking.
Putting the machine away and feeling something real, right?
Yeah. Switching your phone off is like conscious walking, because as you're walking, you're conscious about all of the amazing things around you.
I can also I can also drive, just go and just clear my head with driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So one of the reasons why this is so important, this is just what keeps pounding in my head, is if we are as powerful as we know we are, our minds are powerful. Our mind is the prize. If they control our minds, they don't only control what we do, what we think now, and how we behave now, they control our manifestations. And all of a sudden, what we manifest is what they want us to manifest, because they put it in there. And that's a slippery slope, you guys. I mean, this is really important. We got to take some small steps to start reclaiming our sovereignty, because we're going to lose ourselves. So that's the end of this presentation. 57 slides. Oh yeah, 57 slides.
There was a lot to say.
I hope that this made sense, and I know we don't have a lot of people watching today, and that's okay. we're going to start doing this. And what I'm thinking is we go put our show for 21 days from now. Benny, are you in? 21 days from now. Let's get
I'm in.
back together. And
Yep.
whoever watches this out there, you know, whenever you watch
That's
it,
we
try
we feel
this.
divided. We're not talking. We need to talk.
Exactly. We don't.
We all never will see eye to eye. We're all different. We just need to be able to have that dialogue.
All my PowerPoint dreams have come true. Yes, PowerPoint dreams. Your PowerPoint dreams have come true. Hellfire. But yeah, we're not talking, and that's so important because I remember like when we first, especially like in the UFO space, right? We had so many open conversations and there was so much chat and there was so much like, let's talk about this, let's explore that, let's hypothesize.
To it. There were different sides to it, different views, and we were all open to it, and now we're not. And
we're not.
Like in every
we don't
field,
talk.
Every community is like it.
So even more important that our feeds don't feed us stuff to keep us divided. We got to stop. It's like we have certain levers that are being pulled for us, and that this little thing right here is freaking kicking our ass, and we got to take control of it. We got to. So, and I know this is hard, man. It's because I got to tell you, the brain does crave my gossip. You know, it's like, I have to go watch my gossip. And then I realized it's like, what am I doing? I'm like feeding the monster inside me, monsters in my head.
Always try verified what you've been told or get an outsider's opinion. If there's two countries fighting at war, each side will have their own opinion and it'll be their fault or their fault. An outside country is independent, who's impartial. They'll be the ones that telling you the truth that's really going on.
Yes.
And the rest of the world, there's a world of different reasonable news agents out around there, and just take different opinions and try and
don't jump to judgment, right? Don't jump to judgment. Take a moment to verify the sources. ChatGPT makes mistakes too. AI makes mistakes all the time. You can't so those posts might be lies. Don't just buy it. You know,
I asked ChatGPT if the DJI Mini 5 had come out, and it said yes. And then said, "What about the Mini 4?" And he said, "No, the Mini 4," and went on straight into 5. I knew the 4 were out last year, and that's just a DJI drone model. That's ChatGPT. Yeah.
How funny! We were. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. No,
you go.
I was just going to say we had a meeting the other day, and it was very interesting because
that's what I was going to say. Go for it. Yeah, that's the story.
It was so hilarious because Chris and I figured, okay, well, let's plug this in and see what it comes up with. And it completely, I can't remember which one, if you were on ChatGPT or...
ChatGPT completely mislabeled it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we went back and we're like, I disagree with your assessment. Can you re-examine what we said in the first place? And it came back and said, I agree. I disagree with my first assessment too. It's like, okay.
I think what was Sky News on the UK Sky News caught ChatGPT lying about a transcript of one of their shows and podcasts, saying it had already been done when it hadn't.
When it had it.
But it was saying it had been done, and it was made an entire script up. Yes. And then when it got questioned about it after it got put on, it then made a load of lies up. So
you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be very careful, and you have to use your discernment because, you know, personally, I don't use AI hardly ever. I don't want to forget how to use my brain. And that's what I'm finding with some people at times is they forget how to use their brain. And, you know, that's never a good thing. But we have to use our discernment. God gave us our intuition for a purpose. It's in our gut. Pay attention to that because I'll tell you this, your discernment will never lie to you. Never. Often we ignore it, but that's on us. But we have
that gut feeling's always right. Even if you know it's always right.
Yes.
Isn't that
Don't
crazy how
judge
that gut is
a
always
book by
right?
its
It really is.
Mr. Hellfire. Don't judge a bot by its circuits.
What did he say?
Yeah,
Oh,
the AI is trained on the AI is trained on our internet, and that's not new. That's not exactly it. Look what's on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
It's
mhm.
trained on it.
I know. It's crazy.
So that is our presentation, and I know that Marley. We're gonna say goodnight here real quick. Marley is going to read. I know we got a closing that we're gonna end the show with. But before we do that, I wanted to say thank you to everybody on the chat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Please like, subscribe, share. Tell people that this show was actually pretty educational, I think. And I mean, I don't like to toot our own horn, but it's like at the same time, it's like we put a lot of work into this, and it's because we find it really important.
Because
And I
people
think you
matter.
should too. You
Yeah.
should too. If you don't think that,
a lot of these lies and that go deep, and
Yes.
they are connected. A lot of it,
Yes.
and it's all about money. A lot of it as well.
Oh,
Money
yes.
and power.
Follow
exactly.
money.
Exactly. So, okay. So Ben, you're going to be back with us in 3 weeks, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you want to bring us some droning, let us know if you've got any drone videos, because we always like to include the show and tell.
I've sent you a couple of them already, but I have got some stuff.
Okay, then I'll go to my email and I'll pull them up for the show.
I've got some from Todd Madden, where that person got found dead on the coal stack.
Oh,
from a UFO. Yeah, it was a Ziggy Summit. He went missing from near Wakefield, another city in West Yorkshire, and was found miles later. Miles
oh
away.
man. Okay, we got to talk about that.
2, 4 days later, on top of a 12 foot high coal pile with no way of getting up to it. Now, when you climb up coal, you can see someone getting up to it. The police couldn't get up to him, and he was no physical marks of getting there.
Did a UAP drop him off?
And then there were UFO sighting in the region by a police officer days after. There were quite a few. And it's
we might have to do a special story night on this one, don't you think?
So.
This is an interesting story.
I would love to do a show with Ben taking us on his travels with the drones, like just one episode dedicated to Ben.
Journey with Benny.
See, the thing is that I don't just drive. I use the public transport in West Yorkshire because I can get on a train at the station.
Oh, that's right.
The train can be doing 90 miles an hour in 55 seconds. From standing to 90, and I can get anywhere in West Yorkshire for just about a couple of pounds, just about.
Okay, cool.
21 days is February once. February 1st, I think. Yeah, February 1st. We're gonna post a show for that day. It's gonna be our follow-up. And I'm thinking, you guys, if anybody watches this show and would like a physical copy of the presentation, email me. And my email is in the about page of the channel. It's on my channel, and this has been a multi-stream on Cosmic Carousel and on Mindfork. So you just ping either of us.
Okay, one last thing on the PSYOP thing. The Y-Files did a specific episode. The Y-Files, it's AJ and the Fish.
I love Y-Files.
They did that scoring sheet, the NCIA scoring sheet. You can download that. And it's a recent episode. It was about Sean Ryan and things about an NCIA agent.
We'll download it. We'll have it for the next show. Yeah.
I have got the copies. Yes, it is on his website as well. So, but
perfect.
It's pretty accurate. It is accurate as well.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
I like Wi-Fi. I like the fish.
Yeah,
I like the cranky fish. I love the fish.
It's fun.
I like the little fish. At first, I was like, "Why does he have to have the fish?" And I'm like, "I love the fish." Tim Freestone is back, but damn it, y'all are done.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet. We have a closing. So okay, so I'm going to put you on big screen here.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Okay, you take us home, sister. Well, it is an important. I was in a time distortion, but in a good way, about 20 minutes behind the video. It's okay. We love you, Dot. Catch up with us in the future, Dot.
We
You
love
didn't
all of
rewind it to
you.
get that. You didn't rewind it to get
Well,
the 10
rewind.
seconds.
That's right. That'll help the
Rewind.
algorithm.
It'll help
Rewind
the
and
algo.
rewatch.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. This is the closing remarks for the show today. So as we close today, remember this. New Earth is not a distant dream. The shift has already begun. If things feel upside down, heavy, or like a strange in-between place, please don't fret. Many are sensing this purgatory-like feeling right now as old structures dissolve and truth rises. This is a part of the passage, not the destination. Pay attention to your vibration throughout your day. Notice how your body and your energy respond to what you are engaging with. Does it bring you calm and peace, or does it stir anxiety, anger, or tension? If it pulls you down the ladder, then that is your cue to lovingly step away, remembering always that your divine energy is sacred. Find grace and joy in the small things, in the holy moments, a hug, a song, a wagging tail, a bird song, trees swaying, and the sunlight hitting your face. These are not distractions, they are recalibrations. When chaos swirls or when things feel heavy, please breathe consciously. Your breath is a divine tool that brings your powerful energies back into harmony. Remember, everything you are experiencing is a temporary happening, and you can and will move through it. Pay attention to anything triggering you and ask why they are showing up. When diseases arise, anxiety, fear, anger, heart palpitations, sickness, brain fog, exhaustion, don't judge them. Listen. They are messengers calling you back into alignment. Practice quieting the mind through mindful meditation, even if only for a few moments a day. Going inward is the key. Surround yourself with like-minded souls and lovingly remove toxicity from your field. Take conscious breaks in what we talked about earlier, in nature, in creativity, or with animals. Journal your thoughts and release what no longer needs to be carried. Know this deeply. Much of the chaos happening on the planet is illusion. It dissolves when you stop feeding it with fear. Stand firmly in your divinity and say a hard no to control, programming, and manipulation. Sharpen your discernment. If something feels icky, then it is not aligned with your truth or your energy vibration. We have finally entered the era of truth. The veils are lifting. The lies and deceptions are being revealed in real time. Do not fall for the false flag ops. Operate without fear. We cannot allow our consciousness to be hijacked. Remember, you are far stronger and more powerful than you have ever been taught to believe. Each day, make a conscious choice, the matrix or freedom. The easy road is not always the true one. Step outside of the box and remove the blinders. Everything changes when you do. Above all, do you, be you, and staying true always to your moral compass. Protect your freedom, your light, and your heart, because there are far more of us than them, and love will always beat out lies, deceit, manipulation, and control. You are held, you are powerful, and you are exactly where you need to be. I thank you all. I love you all for showing up. We appreciate your presence for these shows that we do. And our hope always is to share some really important information, take what resonates and leave the rest. But thank you guys so much.
That was lovely. Thank you so much, sweetie. That's a perfect way of ending this session. Let's say bye real quick. Remember, peace and love is all that you take to the other side. Very good point. It's all about love. It's like the love frequency is what guides this whole thing. We just need to learn how to stay there. So I love you guys.
Easy road is no fun either, Ben says.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know that's so true. Hold on, the easy road. Yeah, you're right. And it's like they count on us liking things easy.
Mm-hmm.
They bank on that because
Absolutely.
easy means we're not thorough, and if we're not thorough, things will pass right by us.
All through the
The
cracks.
game is being played. So in the next show in 21 days, we will see. For anybody that watched it, how are you feeling? We would love to hear from the people that are doing this. As in making a difference. Let's talk about psyops. We're going to take it to the next level because it's not just about social. That's just one piece. We're going to keep dissecting this over time until we actually start seeing some differences. We're going to make some ripples. We're going to make some freaking ripples.
This is not going to be a diet that fails. We are not.
Nope, we're not gonna regain the lazy back in 6 months. No, that brain is gonna be a workout. You know, he's like gonna be working out. That bouncer is like, ooh, I see the light now. He's gonna take off his sunglasses. It's gonna be all awesome. So, okay, so I'm gonna put you guys backstage, and I'm gonna just end the stream. But love you guys. Please share, like, comment, subscribe. This is important stuff, and we want to keep bringing it to you, right?
Rewind, yes.
Rewind and replay. Rewind and replay.
Like, subscribe, rewind, play.
Replay.
Like, subscribe, rewind, play.
I'm so excited. So I'm going to put you guys backstage. I'm going to play the outro. Mwah. Bye, everybody. We love you. Hold on. Let me get this going. Make sure I got it. Okay. Bye, Benny. Bye, Mark.